This is not a game, Secretary.
I'm Attorney General.
My apologies, I couldn't tell. By 2008, we knew that Epstein was a convicted sexual abuser. And we now know that Lutnick went to Epstein's island in 2012. How was that not a deal breaker for the president? And why are—
From Tennessee is recognized.
I'd like to introduce for the record a letter to Director Gabbard from Mr. Warner and Mr. Himes, and a letter of response from her to them about who invited her to Atlanta, and a copy of the search warrant. And I'd also like to just make clear for the record, the reason people in Memphis weren't going out was because the ice was on the ground and we were afraid we'd fall. But other than that, we go out all the time.
Gentlemen, without objection, there's unanimous consent. The gentlelady from Vermont is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Attorney General Bondi, according to your department, a child is sexually abused in the United States every 9 minutes, and the vast majority of survivors never get justice. And that's one of the reasons why I think the Epstein case has resonated so deeply with so many Americans. And the other reason, I think, is because it has revealed a two-tiered system of justice. And the powerful are protected, and the survivors rarely get any accountability. And the Epstein files contain evidence of a multi-decade international criminal conspiracy involving some of the wealthiest and the most powerful people in the world. There's evidence of financial crimes, political corruption, sex trafficking, and of course, horrible sexual abuse. And I want to remind everybody, this isn't a game. These are real people, people who have suffered, who are sitting here with us today, and they deserve answers, and they deserve accountability. And I'm here to try to get some for them. Now, I've seen some of the unredacted Epstein files, and obviously, as you know, President Trump's name is all over them, but so are the names of other senior Trump officials: Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce; John Phelan, the Secretary of the Navy; and Stephen Feinberg, the Deputy Secretary of Defense. These men were appointed by President Trump to senior positions in his administration. All of them have clear and confirmed ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Attorney General Bondi, yes or no, has the Justice Department asked Secretary Lutnick about his ties to Epstein?
Excuse me. Secretary Lutnick has addressed those ties himself.
I'm asking you, has the Justice Department specifically asked Secretary Lutnick about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein?
He has addressed those ties himself.
Has the DOJ asked Secretary Phelan about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein?
I don't know whether he has addressed those or not.
Has the Deputy Secretary Feinberg talked to the Department of Justice about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein? Yes or no? Has the Department of Justice talked to Deputy Secretary Feinberg about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, which are clearly spelled out in the files? It's a very simple question. It's not a trick question. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I'm stunned that you want to continue talking about
Oh my gosh.
Epstein
Okay,
instead
I'm
of a Border
reclaiming my
Patrol
time.
agent
I'm asking
murder.
you not a trick question, a simple
Stunned.
question. Okay, so what is clear is we have evidence.
Do you know
that
who Chris Malin is?
We have evidence that 3 senior officials within the Trump administration have ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And what
does ties mean?
I can conclude
What does
from what
ties
you are
mean?
saying that you have not talked to them.
What does ties mean? Can
I
you
think
define
Americans would be shocked to learn that you are not interested in talking with these officials who have ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
What does
across
ties
the
mean?
world,
Can you define that?
across the world,
Can you
prominent
define
men
ties?
who've been
Time
exposed
belongs to the
in the files have resigned their jobs in disgrace, and that's a good first start. And that same
Disgrace is
standard,
not saying the word
this
Chris
same
Malin.
standard should apply here. And Americans want accountability.
Who is Chris Malin?
Was the president
he?
aware? Please stop talking. It is not your time to ask
Who was he?
questions. It is not your time. I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Chair.
One second.
Time belongs to the gentlelady from Vermont.
Was the president aware of Secretary Lutnick's ties to Epstein when he chose him to lead the Department of Commerce? Was he aware?
Chris Malin was a Border Patrol agent.
Okay, so
He
I'm
was
going to
shot,
conclude
and
that
she
the president,
never
in fact,
mentioned
did
him
know about his
in
ties
her
because he
district.
was the next door neighbor.
Shame on you.
Oh, for goodness sakes,
You're
this
from
is
a tiny,
pathetic. This
beautiful
is
state.
pathetic,
The
Mr.
committee will
Chair.
be in order.
I am not asking trick questions here.
You
The
got your
American
5
people
minutes.
have a right to know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration. This is not a game, Secretary.
I'm Attorney General.
My apologies, I couldn't tell. By 2008, we knew that Epstein was a convicted sexual abuser. And we now know that Lutnick went to Epstein's island in 2012. How was that not a deal breaker for the president? And why aren't you asking questions of the Commerce Secretary about what he saw when he was at the island, which he lied about not ever going to? Why are you not asking these questions? And I see that my time is almost expired, so I will say this.
Game.
Do the right thing.
Attorney General. Meet with the survivors. They have been asking for a year. Meet with the survivors. Do the right thing. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from South Carolina is recognized for 5 minutes.
May I have 20 seconds of his time?
That'll be up to the gentleman, but.
Absolutely, Madam
Thank you, thank you. I was curious if you, Congresswoman, asked Bill Clinton that. Didn't see one tweet, not one. I didn't see one tweet when Joe Biden was in office about Bill Clinton. Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once when he was.
Weak sauce.
And also, I want the record to reflect that, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution condemning.
Oh,
from the
Jewish.
river
I just want to be clear.
do you want to go there, Attorney
time
General?
belongs
Or
to
do
the
you want to go there? Are
Time
you
belongs to the
serious?
gentleman
Talking
from
about
South
anti-Semitism
Carolina.
to a woman who
Lady-
lost her grandfather in the
I reclaim
Holocaust?
my time. I
Really?
reclaim my time.
Really?
The committee will be in order.
Talk to Jared Wise about anti-Semitism.
The ranking member knows that.
Can I get like 30 seconds back,
Yeah,
since
I've been,
Ms. Balint took
I think
30
the
of
whole
mine?
committee knows I've been very
right,
generous
thank
in
you.
making sure everyone gets their 5 minutes in the same.
Attorney General,
reply to
I'm
the
talking about
gentleman.
What we witnessed in those final moments was not simply a tense exchange between a member of Congress and the Attorney General. It was something deeper. Representative Becca Balint of Vermont stood in that hearing room and pressed forward with a line of questioning that cut straight to the heart of power, proximity, and accountability. She asked whether senior officials, men appointed to some of the highest positions in the federal government, had been questioned about their documented ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Again and again, she asked for a simple answer, yes or no. And again, the response was deflection. Balint began by reminding the room and the country that the case at the center of this controversy is not abstract. It is not a partisan talking point. It involves real survivors, real suffering, a multi-decade network of influence and secrecy. She argued that the reason the Epstein case continues to haunt the public consciousness is because it appears to reveal something Americans fear most: a two-tiered system of justice, one for the powerful, one for everyone else. When she pointed out that President Trump's name appears in the unredacted files alongside the names of Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Navy Secretary John Phelan, and Deputy Defense Secretary Stephen Feinberg, the atmosphere shifted. These were not casual associations. These were senior officials entrusted with national leadership. Balint asked whether the Department of Justice had questioned them directly. The answer never came clearly. Instead, the Attorney General suggested that those officials had addressed their own ties. But Balint was not asking whether they had issued statements. She was asking whether the Justice Department had investigated, whether they had been formally asked, whether the standard applied to others would apply here. That distinction matters, because in a constitutional republic, accountability is not optional. It does not depend on rank. It does not bend to political convenience. When Balint declared, "The American people have a right to know," she was not speaking only as a Democrat from Vermont. She was speaking to a broader anxiety that has been building across the country, that justice is sometimes selective, that scrutiny can be uneven, that power shields its own. Then came the moment that crystallized the tension. When Balint questioned whether the president knew about Secretary Lutnick's documented visit to Epstein's island years after Epstein's 2008 conviction, voices rose. Accusations flew. "Shame on you," someone interjected. The Attorney General bristled. Order was called, but Balint did not retreat. She ended not with an accusation, but with a plea. Meet with the survivors. Do the right thing. In that plea lies the moral center of this exchange. Because this hearing was not only about names in files, it was about trust. Trust in institutions. Trust in leadership. Trust that the Department of Justice pursues truth wherever it leads, not only when it is politically safe. And then, in a stunning pivot, the conversation shifted to anti-Semitism. The Attorney General referenced a vote on a resolution condemning anti-Semitism. Balint responded sharply, invoking her own family history. Her grandfather lost in the Holocaust. The charge and the countercharge exposed how quickly substantive questions can be overtaken by personal and political attacks. In that moment, the hearing stopped being just about Epstein. It became about something larger, the fragility of public discourse in an era of hyper-partisanship. Serious questions about accountability collided with accusations of hypocrisy. The gravity of historical trauma was invoked in the middle of a procedural fight. And yet, beneath the noise, the core issue remains. When individuals with proximity to scandal ascend to the highest offices of government, what is the responsibility of those tasked with oversight? Is it enough to accept public statements, or does justice require formal inquiry? Equal standards. Transparent review. Clear answers. History teaches us that institutions either rise to moments like this, or they erode under them. Balint's frustration reflected a broader sentiment across the country, that powerful networks often operate behind closed doors, while everyday Americans face the full weight of the law. Whether one agrees with her tone or her politics, the questions she raised cannot simply be dismissed. Were the proper questions asked? Were the proper standards applied? Because democracy does not survive on silence. It survives on scrutiny, on accountability, on the willingness of leaders, from the White House to the Justice Department, to confront uncomfortable truths without fear or favor. Tonight's exchange will reverberate far beyond that hearing room. It will echo in debates about transparency, in conversations about executive appointments, in the ongoing struggle to ensure that justice in America is blind not only in theory but in practice. The American people are watching, they are listening, and they are asking their own questions. In the end, this is not about one congresswoman or one attorney general. It is about the integrity of a system built on the promise that no one stands above the law. The measure of a nation is not how it treats the powerless. It is how it scrutinizes the powerful. And that scrutiny must never depend on party, position, or personal connection. If we are to preserve the credibility of our institutions, transparency cannot be selective. Accountability cannot be optional. Justice cannot be negotiated. The questions raised today demand answers. The survivors demand dignity. And the country deserves clarity. For in a republic, sunlight is not a threat. It is a safeguard. Stay informed, stay engaged, and support our work to expose the truth. Subscribe to Liberty Report USA.